Now we are going to discuss the other part of international trade, that is theory of comparative advantage. This theory is introduced by David Ricardo in 1817. In this theory, David Ricardo suggested that absolute advantage theory is not much beneficial for the world, so countries should become a specialist, not on the basis of cost, on the basis of opportunity cost, because it gives a wider picture of international trade, and countries involved in international trade on the basis of opportunity cost advantage will be mutually benefited for both of the countries. Now let's discuss comparative advantage. As I told you, comparative advantage introduced by David Ricardo. Theory suggests a country should focus on a specialization in those goods in which it has opportunity cost advantage. That is, the opportunity cost ratio is less than other country. It shows the big picture of international trade, because international trade much rely on comparative advantage rather than absolute advantage, as it is mutually benefited for both countries. Now, I'm using the same values as I have already used in absolute advantage to avoid any confusion. For example, before specialization, this is the output or production possibilities of these two countries, and be careful, this time we are not identifying absolute advantage, because absolute advantage we can easily find out. Pakistan is producing more rice and China is producing more cars, so Pakistan has an absolute advantage in rice and China has an absolute advantage in car. Be careful, this time we are going to calculate comparative advantage. It means we have to calculate the opportunity cost ratios, then we have to decide the term of trade between these two countries. So according to the theory of comparative advantage, let's calculate the opportunity cost ratios and find out which country has a comparative advantage. Now, opportunity cost ratio to decide specialization. Pakistan, if produce 1 unit of rice, the opportunity cost is 1:0.25 cars. And if Pakistan produce 1 car, reverse divide kare, then the opportunity cost of 4 units of rice. Apply the same logic in China. If China produce 1 unit of rice, the opportunity cost is 3 units of cars, and 1 unit of car is equals to 0.33 units of rice. So it is very much clear that Pakistan has a low opportunity cost to produce rice than China, which means Pakistan is comparatively better in producing rice rather than cars. So what will happen? According to international trade, Pakistan will export rice, and against rice Pakistan will import car. How many units Pakistan would require against the units of rice? This will be said as term of trade or the exchange rate between two countries. Now find out what is the exchange rate. The term of trade or exchange rate between Pakistan and India, Pakistan will give 1 rice unit and will take 2 cars. Let's find out, is it beneficial for both of the countries or not? Pakistan 1 rice equals to 0.25 cars opportunity cost. China 1 rice equals to 3 cars. It means the ratio 1 rice equals to 2 cars is mutually beneficial, as Pakistan will earn more and China will save its cost, because if China will try to produce rice, the opportunity cost is 3 cars. So it is better for China to import rice from Pakistan and export cars to Pakistan, and the ratio will be 1 rice equals to 2 cars. Now look here, now Pakistan has become a specialist in rice and China has become a specialist in cars. Before trade, always remember, this is the last part of trade, after trade. In after trade, always write the total of after specialization, because after specialization now the units or quantity will not increase, neither increase nor decrease. So I have just written the total first. Now whatever I am going to do, I am going to trade. Before specialization, Pakistan needs 100 units of rice for its own country, and I have to show after specialization and trade, Pakistan and China, they both better off. So let's see. Pakistan have 150 units, and out of 200 units, Pakistan has given 50 units to China. And against that 50 units, 1 unit of rice equals to 2 units of cars, as we have already discussed. So 50 units of rice will bring 100 units of cars to Pakistan. So you can see that before that Pakistan's cars demand was 25. Now they are getting more rice, as it is 150, before it is 100, and it is 100 cars, before it is 25. So Pakistan is better off. Let's check China. Before trade and specialization, China's rice quantity was required 50. So we can also say that if Pakistan will give, instead of 50, if Pakistan will give 60 units, then 120 cars, then 180 cars. Now, Pakistan held 140 units of rice and gave 60 units to China. Against this 60 units of rice, Pakistan has got 120 units of cars out of 300. So 180 with China. Now look again. Before specialization and trade, Pakistan itself required 100 units of rice and 25 units of cars. Now the situation is better off. China previously required 50 units of rice and 150 units of car. After trade and specialization, look at China. It is getting more units of rice and more units of cars. So according to the comparative advantage, hence it is proved that it is mutually benefit for both of the countries, and the world trade will gain more depending on comparative advantage rather than absolute advantage. Thank you very much.